Hey guys, welcome back. We have a weekend energy update to get into. Not a whole bunch going on this weekend. If you watched my first video this week, I was talking about how this week to me is kind of like the least energetically active week of the month of November. Although we also had a Mars Mercury conjunction take place this week that is a very action oriented energy. So it could have been a busy week. Things could have been a little bit hectic. People could have been angry for reasons that you can't really define. There could have been a lot of kind of like needless disputes and like conflicts and arguments going on this past week, but once we get through Thursday, that should shift, things should calm down, things should chill out a little bit. And really, throughout the course of the weekend, a grand trine in water signs, another one, but this time featuring the sun, is beginning to come into formation, and that's going to be how we enter the energy of next week. We on Saturday actually have two grand trines going on. Things could be seemingly falling into place this weekend. Friday, it's a great day to be productive and get things done. You could get some recognition or rewards for your efforts on Friday. And we've got some things to talk about, you guys. So let's get into it. Let's take a closer look at what we do have coming together for us throughout the course of the weekend and where it is all leading us as we prepare to enter the energy of next week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, November 14th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we are just going to take a good look at our energy forecast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this weekend, see if we can get an idea of our energetic climate out there. So that's what we're doing in our report for the day. Of course, this was a rare 2-video week for me. So I'm going to recap the energy of Thursday for us as well, since I didn't do a Thursday video this week. And then we will get into the energy of the weekend. But just to kind of summarize what we've got going on out there, as I mentioned, in my previous video, I think I said this in my intro too, it's a pretty quiet week, especially, and again, maybe not. Like, it may have actually been a very busy, action-oriented, loud, noisy, annoying, distracting, irritating week with Mars and Mercury in the conjunction together. But by quiet, I mean the number of transits present, kind of like pulling us energetically in multiple various directions, is not a lot this weekend, or this week at all, really. We had Jupiter station retrograde on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we had, I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, we had the exact conjunction between Mercury and Mars. Mercury recently went retrograde, so Mercury is moving very slowly right now, which means that Mercury-Mars conjunction is lasting and active and tight for longer than it normally would be. Mercury is generally a very fast moving planet. Whenever Mercury's making a transit or an aspect to another planet, it is typically only like a day or two or three, but because Mercury's moving so slow, it has been extending the influence of this Mars-Mercury conjunction. So really all week, that energy has been in effect. Thursday, we did have a Virgo moon going on as well, and the moon was in the proper degree range in the sign of Virgo to square Mercury and Mars, and that would emphasize that energy again as well. So even though those two planets were no longer in exact conjunction on Thursday, the moon coming through and hitting that square definitely was probably triggering some of the more conflict-oriented nature tendencies associated with that influence. So could have been a rather testy week. People could have been kind of going at it, just a little bit uptight, maybe a little bit extra hostile. Mercury rules all the little things, and especially with the moon in Virgo, this is very nitpicky. And Mars and Mercury, they're a lot of complaints, a lot of judgments, a lot of criticism, people not responding to it well. Could have been conflict over ideas and opinions, and clashes over what is right and what is wrong, and the existential nature of this, that, or the other thing, with the Sagittarian influence, philosophies kind of in contrast perhaps as well. So, it could have just been a little bit of a more verbally combative week I think we could say. But definitely as we move through the energy of Thursday, get into Friday, that influence is beginning to break apart finally. The moon is beyond the degree range in Virgo where it's really exacerbating the issue, and the sun is moving into a closer connection with both Jupiter and Saturn, who are currently in an exact alignment together right now in the water signs of Cancer and Pisces. We have an exact trine taking place between Jupiter at 25 degrees of Cancer, Saturn at 25 degrees of Pisces. Both of these planets are retrograde right now, and this week the sun is preparing to hit the 25th degree of the sign of Scorpio and form the third leg of this grand water trine. This grand water trine has been an ongoing influence as various planets have transited through that degree range in the sign of Scorpio and hit the exact alignment point that does create that third leg of that trine. We had Mercury do it. We've also had Mars do it. The sun is doing it now as well. And what is really like the only kind of perhaps like a little bit of drawback about the benefic nature of this particular influence, the Grand Trine in water featuring the sun, is the fact that we also happen to rarely and uniquely and coincidentally and ironically right now have the black moon at 26 degrees of the sign of Scorpio. So while we have this like really beautiful, powerful, almost like magical grand water trine going on featuring the sun, like the greatest source of illumination and light, right? It's also nearly exactly aligned, only 1 degree out from the black moon, which rules the shadow side, the shadow side nature of things, and like what is unknown and what is hidden and what is unseen, and like the power forces from within, like the unconscious energy that oftentimes has a very powerful influence over how we act and how we behave without even necessarily us having a conscious awareness into, how that energy is operating. It's the shadows. It's what's operating within the darkness of our own psyche that we are unaware of, but as a result of that lack of awareness actually holds a lot of power over the way that we react to various things when we're triggered specifically. And it rules fears, it rules worries, it rules doubts. And with the sun, coming into the alignment with the black moon, while simultaneously forming this really beautiful, powerful grand water trine that has a lot to do with like breaking down barriers and limitations based in like old faulty belief systems that have been blocking our ability to grow or expand or like gain a greater sense of awareness of something somehow in a way that leads to some type of growth or expansion in one area of our lives or another. I feel like there's something here about conquering fears, like overcoming like self-sabotaging cycles within us that may have been operating without our conscious awareness. I do think that we could be kind of collectively or in various ways or various areas of our lives learning something, gaining some type of deep insight or awareness into some of these more subtle shadow side issues in a way that, is very self-empowering over this next upcoming week. I feel like this grand water trine has the potential to really have some life-changing impacts. I mean, I've been talking about it for the past several weeks. I did like an all signs video about, based on your ascendant, where the various planets of the grand water trine are falling for you and what houses are impacted a couple of videos back. It's in the title if you want to, go back and look at it and see where you specifically based on your ascendant may be experiencing some of the changes associated with this. But anyways, this weekend, we're really moving into another powerful dose of this energy. I would say the most powerful dose of this energy because it is as a result of the sun forming the third planetary position in that trine and also coming into an alignment with the black moon. The black moon is the shadow and the sun is the light, illumination, enlightenment. So there are some, inner demons or some silent battles perhaps to be conquered, I think, over the course of maybe moving through this weekend, moving through the energy of next week. And there's also this emphasis on the past right now. Remember, Mercury just stationed retrograde, Jupiter just stationed retrograde, reversals, maybe things turning around somehow. There could also be discoveries that are being made here, insight that is being gained not only into, some of our own maybe unconscious or subconscious issues, but also how to fix things, how to change things, how to correct things, remedies, solutions, ways to like upgrade and improve and streamline could be coming through here. And karmic release also. I mean, we've got Saturn retrograding as one of our primary, or one of the three planets that is in this grand water trine. Saturn, of course, being the lord of karma, the lord of time, and retrograding in the sign of Pisces. This is breaking down belief systems that may have been keeping us like perpetuating some cycle or some pattern that has been limiting our ability to grow. Jupiter is growth, Jupiter is expansion. The sun right there, also in the sign of Scorpio, that is uncovering truth, shining light into the darkness. So I don't know, you guys, I feel like there is some type of an awareness that could be coming through that really helps us to transcend some of our like past limitations coming up here for one reason or another. So that is what I perceive as being sort of just our general forecast as we move through the weekend, head towards next week. What this energy is capable of doing for us is perhaps trying to do for us. These are trines that we have going on, and trines are cosmic facilitation. Those are supporting aspects. That is energy assisting us in our process. Like those planets are working together in our harmonious flow of energy. The energy is not conflicting. So it's like a cosmic support group out there to help us, I think, get over some of our issues, conquer some of our issues coming up here. I've already discussed on Thursday, though, things could have been a bit of a challenge. That moon in Virgo. I mean, a Virgo moon wants things to be practical and wants things to be paced and wants things to be patient and wants things to like make sense and think things through. This is a sign ruled by Mercury, but then we've got the moon in Mercury's sign of Virgo squaring Mercury and Mars together in Sagittarius. This is like impatient and impulsive and reckless and like wants to like act before any type of thought process even has an opportunity to go on. So like inherently these, and then it's a square, which is a 90-degree aspect, which is already, the most tension-oriented aspect in astrology. So yeah, Thursday could have been a little bit of just a challenging day, challenging energy, but really, the first part of the week could have been as well, but also the Jupiter station energy. That is Jupiter is known as the Great Benefic. This is traditionally seen and viewed as the most positively influencing planetary energy that we have. Expansion, growth, truth, wisdom, blessings, like good fortune and stuff like that. So there could have been a lot of good things, a lot of growth, a lot of positivity, a lot of optimism, hope, more like a lighthearted energy that could have been going on this week as well, maybe in the midst of some of these like little spats and trivial issues that could simultaneously have been playing out. But yes, let's talk about Friday now. Friday is definitely a less hostile energy than any of the previous 4 days this week. There could be a sense of heaviness in the air. There could be, something serious that you're kind of focused on, or you may feel as though something is weighing on you somehow. There could be a bit of a sense of overwhelm. But if that is the case, honestly, do something about it, because we have so much support right now to solve our problems, to fix our issues, and to get good, successful results. Duty, responsibility, work could for some reason be the focus of the day, but it's also a super, super great day to work hard on something, be productive, and get these good results. There is an above average ability to focus on the task at hand and get a positive, productive, successful outcome. So, this is not if you feel like you're coming up against something, or if you feel like, things are just kind of heavy or overwhelming here, this is not the energy where you just want to sit in it and allow yourself to be a victim of circumstance. This is energy where if you do put some effort into solving your problems, you're probably going to be very glad you did, and you're probably going to just like, there's going to be a payoff in some way, whether it's just like legitimately the solution to the problem so that it's not an issue anymore and you can like, move through whatever that is in a easier way going forward, or some type of reward or recognition or promotion, or it could be like good for your even like public reputation or career or something like that as well. The moon in Virgo on Friday is going to actually be functioning as a midpoint between the trine taking place between Jupiter in Cancer and the Sun in Scorpio, and at the same time forming an opposition to Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Virgo and Pisces are oppositional signs. So the moon is actually forming a kite aspect with our grand water trine on Friday, and the moon's in the sign of Virgo, and the sign of Virgo does great getting the job done, crossing tasks off the list, being organized, being efficient, like streamlining information and ideas to like make systems work better, create a better like management structure or management flow, presentations and sales pitches and stuff like that. If we are prepared and have put the effort in, they should really go well. Any type of organization, any type of planning, any type of researching. This can also apply to like cleaning or decluttering, or really anything that requires effort or like a focused effort or concentration should be easily accomplished, or just feel very supported in this energy. Maybe they flow really well, and your efforts again are likely to be, they're pay off or rewarded somehow, and you could make a very good impression actually on authority figures, management, bosses, higher ups, like anybody that you kind of have to impress out there, or that you want to make a positive impression on. If you are prepared and have done a good job in whatever work it is you're involved in, or whatever job needs to be done, the chances that they are going to be happy with the result and give you a little pat on the back or some type of praise or something like that, very possible, very indicated and favorable in this energy. Saturn is authority figures, Jupiter is growth and expansion and gains and like just being seen in a positive light, when we've got the sun right there as well. And the moon at the midpoint in between the sun and Jupiter lets us know that, job well, and Saturn's the job right across from the moon. So it's like job well done. Things go well. I feel good about whatever effort I put in. My effort's paying off in a way that is like emotionally satisfying somehow. So that's why I'm saying, the moon opposite Saturn traditionally can be just a more kind of like heavy, burdensome, like emotionally maybe like oppressive type of vibe. But when we put that grand trine there and then also make the moon that midpoint, it's like, no, don't let it take you under. Actually do what you can do to switch the situation, make it work in your favor, because it will work in your favor. Make the challenge work for you, okay? Which kind of fits into our greater theme here moving into next week, which is about ultimately, I think, coming to a greater point of self-empowerment based on whatever it is that we are conquering or overcoming or gaining an awareness into, that helps us to shift things for the better in our lives in some area somehow. Corrections, solutions, fixing things, redoing things in a way that is more streamlined but gets better results. Great use of this energy. It also is very good at knowing like what to keep and what to throw away, what we absolutely need because it's going to make things better, and what's just kind of like frivolous excess that's not contributing to the overall like success of whatever the thing is that we're working on. So that is something that can work to your benefit to kind of like apply to things in this energy as well. So, get productive, get something done on Friday. If you can, if things again do feel heavy or overwhelming, seek those solutions, because you'll probably find an answer that like really is the remedy to the problem and makes things a lot better. Let's talk about Saturday now. On Saturday, as I've already stated, things are looking pretty good. We do have this grand water trine that is very much being activated on Saturday. The sun is only 2 degrees out of exact alignment to Jupiter and Saturn on Saturday. And we also have the other luminary grand trine taking place, the moon leaving Virgo, entering Libra, forming the simultaneous trine to Uranus, who has recently backed into the sign of Taurus, and also Pluto, who's at 1 degree of the sign of Aquarius. Two luminary grand trines going on. Things may just be happening seamlessly. Again, this is a very harmonious flow of energy, effortless alignments, divine orchestration, kind of just being a vibe, things falling into place all of a sudden, or just like landing in your lap, maybe unexpectedly somehow. Remember, we do have the moon trining Uranus and Pluto. Unexpected transformations or changes for the better, with a growth orientation with the grand water trine simultaneously happening. It could definitely be a day on Saturday of synchronicities, flow, and things just genuinely feeling aligned, maybe in a way that is not a part of our typical experience. There could also be these unexpected changes that are just seemingly taking place right in front of our eyes with little to no effort on our part, or powerful transformations unfolding in the context of events and circumstances that are playing out on Saturday. This is a highly creative, intuitive, and inspired energy as well. Any creative flow, any creative impulse, any flow of inspiration, grab onto it, follow it, surrender to it, go with it. That is a really, really good way to capitalize on and to use this particular energy as well. As I have been saying repeatedly this past couple of weeks, this is also a master builder, visionary type of energy. This, again, like this whole period of time right now is actually trying to, I feel like, energetically support us in expansion, in growth, in like dreaming bigger, in thinking bigger, in opening up to possibilities that we may not have previously conceived for ourselves. Again, breaking down some boundaries represented by old faulty belief systems that do not serve the future path that universe wants to align us with at this point in time. So, keep a mind of that as well. Very, very powerful energy right now for any type of expansion, any type of growth, any type of like starting new ventures and stuff like that. This is about long-term success for the diligent efforts that we're putting into things, and what is being initiated in this energy is likely to grow successfully and is likely to endure and last a long time if it is done right. Jupiter requires us to do things the right way. Saturn also requires us to do things the right way if they want to be successful, but there is promised success here in the context of what we are putting the effort into building, into growing, into forming, into establishing at this period of time in this energy. There is also a very, very strong spiritual influence right now, spiritual connection, also a very intuitive energy, gut instinct, a powerful inner knowing is likely to come with this. Definitely trust your intuition, you guys. Your gut is really your best compass in energy such as this. And allow yourself to open up to the potential of something, to open up to the opportunity of something. With all of this retrograde energy as well, this could also be, opening up to lost opportunities or, things from the past that we never thought would happen, but maybe we're like reconsidering or taking a second look at or something like that. I think I was saying in my last video, I am picking up on this vibe right now about, things that have been put on the back burner, or that, maybe were once started but never followed through on. Their time could be now as well. So, if that applies to you, maybe don't immediately disregard the things that could be coming back around. This is definitely a time to dream big and to allow the magic into your world. And I think a lot of us are going to kind of organically be experiencing that type of process taking place in our lives over this next couple of days, couple of weeks, as this grand water trine with now the sun comes through and does its thing as well. Because as I've already said, and I've been talking about for a while now, this is a transcendence point, I do think. And it is also like a reemergence or revival, like a spiritual revival of our faith, I think is another dimension of what this grand water trine could be bringing as we do move through this period of time. And so I think it's a good time to say your prayers, you guys. And again, visionary master builder energy. Excellent, excellent, excellent for any type of manifestation practices. Get clear on what it is that you want to create and start taking steps in that direction, even if it doesn't seem possible right now. A lot that perhaps has not been possible in the past is probably going to reverse course as well as we move through the rest of this year and into 2026. Let's talk about Sunday now, you guys. Sunday, we have the moon now moving through the sign of Libra, which means that the moon is building into a square with Jupiter, while we have the sun in a trine to Jupiter. So we have both luminaries aspecting Jupiter. That is yet again another indication for things to be going relatively well. Now, Jupiter can lead to excess. That is always a red flag when we're dealing with a lot of Jupiterian energy, is the tendency to overdo things, to maybe like overcommit or overpromise, because the nature of Jupiter just tends to give us this expansive confidence or belief in our ability to do things or be things or go places or make things happen. And in that moment, we really might be able to follow through on that. However, it's not necessarily, what we can do consistently for the long term. So it's best to, especially when Jupiter is in that exact trine to Saturn, as I've been kind of saying over my past few videos, we need to be able to strike a balance here between excess and like limitations. Okay, there needs to be some type of limit or discipline that is exercised in the context of the abundance or the growth or the excess, in order so that a good thing doesn't become a bad thing, because anything taken to an extreme generally becomes its opposite. So in order to avoid that happening when we've got prominent Jupiterian influences, it is a good idea to just be measured, all things in moderation type of vibe. Okay, so, and with a Libra moon also, striking that balance is probably going to be beneficial. Now on Sunday, the sun is only 1 degree out of the exact grand water trine. Again, this is coming exact on Monday, and 2 degrees out of the exact alignment with the black moon, releasing fears, breaking cycles. This could be a vibe on Sunday. I do think this is definitely going to be a vibe also as we move into the energy of next week. Alchemizing, transmutation, gaining an awareness of and integrating the shadow, deep subconscious issues coming to the surface, or us maybe like delving down deep to seek some type of answer, seek some type of root cause, root solution, or remedy to something. Insanely powerful opportunity, you guys, with the sun in Scorpio, already the sign, ruled by Pluto, having to do with the underworld, this deep, passionate, sign ruling the root and the core issues of all things, the hidden, the mysterious. And then with the black moon there, that is like doubling down kind of on these very same themes, shining the light of truth or awareness or knowledge into those shadowy dimensions of ourselves, of our psyche, of our nature, of situations or scenarios. Generally, this is also like excellent detective energy, excellent mystery solving energy, excellent crime solving energy, especially with all the retrograde. This is like cold cases coming back around and, new evidence being presented in a way that solves the case once and for all also, but it's about, truly breaking the grip of the shadows over us in a way that allows us to expand and grow beyond our previous limitations that may have been in place in the first place because of these shadow side issues or these deep-seated fears or these faulty or distorted or inverted belief systems that may have been, keeping us in that holding pattern. So it may become very apparent to us, or it could be a theme generally as we move Sunday into the energy of next week that, darkness can only hold power in the absence of the light, the illumination, the awareness. Enlightenment is always going to break that spell because knowledge becomes its own power, and a power more powerful than the power of the hidden or the unseen or the unnoticed, because when we have the light of awareness, when we have enlightenment into something, we then have knowledge, which gives us the power to choose to do things differently, to choose not to perpetuate something, to choose to alter our behavior, to choose not to react in the same way, to choose to break the cycle, to alter the pattern, to step out of, that the Groundhog's Day or the merry-go-round or the hamster wheel of, whatever patterning or cycles or whatever we may have been caught up in, like unable to free ourselves from one reason or another. When you are unaware that something is going on, then you obviously don't have the ability to resist it, to change it, to impact it in any way. But when you understand the issue, you then gain a new power and the opportunity to alter the situation, whether it's fixing it, whether it's breaking the cycle, whether, it's just making some type of change. This awareness, enlightenment, illumination, the light gives us the ability to take our power back. And again, to me, all of these dots are connecting to paint a picture that describes that collective scenario. It's just what it feels like to me, the power of awareness that is triumphing over unconscious patterning. Next week, I do think, and Saturday and Sunday are also special energy, but I feel like next week is a special week. I feel like, Monday and Tuesday specifically, as this grand trine comes exact and the sun then moves on and makes the conjunction to the black moon, miracles, divine intervention, triumphs over evil, I am seeing as being indicated. You may find yourself coming face to face from some demon from the past or from the present. And you're probably going to discover in this energy that it's either not as scary or as threatening as you thought it was, or that you do gain some type of victory over circumstance, that you do come out on top somehow. Another powerfully creative, divinely inspired day taking place on Sunday. Another great day for working to bring the vision or the dream to life, to grow something, to expand something, to take something to another level somehow. Overall, I think it should be a pleasant, maybe even magical feeling weekend once we get through Thursday and the hot-headed, short-tempered Mercury-Mars energy does begin to stop being so active, which happens once we get into Friday. So that's essentially how I feel about where we're at, how things may be operating, where we're going. Some symbolism I find to also be appropriate in terms of the story that the aspects are telling this weekend. On Saturday, we have the sun at 24 degrees of Scorpio. That Sabian symbol is crowds coming down the mountain to listen to one inspired man. We have the earth at 24 degrees of Taurus. This particular Sabian symbol polarity degree, 24 Scorpio and Taurus, is a fascinating one. As I just said, crowds coming down the mountain to listen to one inspired man. 24 Scorpio, 24 Taurus is an Indian warrior riding fiercely, human scalps hanging from his belt. So it's kind of like the black moon and the sun. Like, it's like the shadow side, darker oriented expression of energy reflecting or being reflected by or directly being opposed by this like divine inspiration that is impacting maybe like a spiritual revival in the context of the masses, crowds coming down the mountain to listen to one inspired man. So I don't know. I feel like that's interesting considering the nature of the transits right now. We also have Mercury at 5 degrees of Sag, an old owl up in a tree. We also have Venus at 11 degrees of Scorpio. A drowning man is being rescued. Wisdom, inspiration, hope, divine intervention, like legitimately feeling like we're being saved somehow, a restoration of faith, the magic being alive, you know, miracles being possible. And it will be interesting to see how things play out and how they come together as we do move forward into this energy. So definitely let me know, you guys, if you are experiencing or encountering any of this type of stuff in your lives as you go throughout the course of your weekend this weekend or move into the energy of next week. Should be some enlightening or like maybe just moving, or this is also a very emotionally sensitive energy, and of course, as I said, like a very spiritual energy. So I don't know, let me know. I'm gonna get a synchronicity card for us right now. I am asking God, Great Spirit, universe, however you connect with the universal life force out there, this is where this message is coming from. We got 2 cards. I just want to know what our best guidance is for the weekend. And our advice for the weekend, you guys, literally stop fighting the situation and you will be guided. The first card says, stop fighting the situation, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good, which seems very aligned to what I was just talking about perhaps victories over the darker forces in our lives and experiences that are going on right now. Okay, it says, do not fight or wage war in your own mind. The enemy is a negative thought of fear, anger, or hostility in your own mind. Don't act under the sway of negative emotions. Replace the negative thought with a positive one. Claim all the while that God is guiding you and giving you peace of mind. Seek spiritual guidance. Read your Bible. Go to church in whatever way equals that for you. Our second piece of advice says, you will be guided, sent his angel to show the things which shortly must be done. Revelation 22:6. Shortly you will be shown the direction you should take. The way will open up for you to move forward. Seize the opportunity that comes to you. Know you are being divinely guided. Listen to the voice within again. Spiritual guidance, you guys, intuition, very, very powerful this weekend. Stop fighting the situation. You will be guided. Message from the stars, message from a higher power, the divine, whatever you want to call it. That's what I have to say today, you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, let me know what's going on with you out there. If you are having experiences, again, that align with or reflect what I'm talking about in this video and any of my videos, leave me a comment, tell me about it, let me know. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, first of all, I apologize. My markers are definitely running out. I'm very sorry about that. I like literally keep forgetting every time I go to the store. I keep forgetting to get the marker, and then I come back and I'm like, oh, I forgot again. But I'm going to hopefully have new markers here like very soon. So, but anyways, if you want to see the picture of the board, I have a Facebook group where I post images of those boards, and you can find it in my description box below. Other than that, you guys, come back with me on Monday. We have a new week of astrology to get into. I've already introduced this week, I would say, and we've got, I think, some interesting but positive leaning energy coming at us. So I'll be back to talk about it on Monday. You don't want to miss it. I'll see you next time, guys. Have a beautiful weekend, and until then, bye.